Death, three little numbers could make the difference, but how long is too long to wait for 911 to answer your call? Well, Contact 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears exposes the human cost of help on hold.
When Larry Gold swings a club, he doesn't know for sure where the ball will go. But when he calls 911, he expects a sure thing every time.
Everything tells you to call 911, and that's all your options are.
That option rang hollow on December 17th. After Larry's group finished a round of golf, their friend Howard was in serious trouble.
He wasn't moving, his eyes were rolling back. It didn't look good.
So Larry called 911 on his cell and heard this.
You have reached 911 emergency. Please do not hang up. Your call will be answered in the order received.
No person answered. I mean, you got a guy, you don't know if he's going to make it or not.
After waiting 2 minutes and still no answer, Larry thought there might be a problem with his cell phone. He knew not to hang up, so while holding on his cell, he grabbed a landline and made a second call, getting the same recording.
Another 30 seconds, another minute, another minute. And it's up to like over 4 minutes now.
By then, Howard was having a hard time breathing. His friend Mike tried to help while others also called 911.
He says, I'm on hold. I'm on hold. I can't believe it. I'm on hold.
911 emergency.
Someone finally got through and Howard got help.
Ended up going to the hospital and they ran a whole series of tests on me.
But he can't make sense of what happened at the 911 call center.
I personally, as the Director of Communications, want to apologize for that because it is not acceptable and it is not the level of service that we want to provide to our community.
Denise Key says Metro recently moved from an old analog telephone system to what she calls next generation 911.
They may not hear the rings that they are used to hearing, and that shouldn't confuse them or make them think that they've immediately been put on hold.
Key says there were 244 calls in the hour surrounding Howard's emergency, which is higher than the normal call volume for that time, a time when 15 operators were working the 911 system.
I could staff 100 people a day, and still there would be times during the day that we would have hold times that were longer than normal.
Although Howard pulled through, his wait for help raises an inevitable question. What if?
I was at a bank and there was an active shooter and he's holding, you just can't get through.
What if?
Somebody's house is smoldering.
What if?
Or a mom calling, my baby stopped breathing.
We hear the what ifs every single day. And that is why it is our priority to monitor the wait times and ensure that we are answering them absolutely as quickly as possible.
As Contact 13 first reported, that what if question haunts Debbie, who asked us not to use her last name.
I thought, what am I going to do? Why aren't they answering?
Her husband, Steve, died the same day Howard needed help. She and her neighbors waited nearly 4 minutes on hold before getting a live operator at 911.
You don't know what would have happened had that call been answered right away.
Right.
Had they been here 5 minutes earlier.
Maybe you would still be here. I don't know. I wish he was.
What is your expectation?
I don't think that any family or any person should ever get a recording on 911. I think that phone should ring and should be picked up by a human.
Paramedical.
Within seconds.
Metro says the national standard for answering calls is 10 seconds or less. They'll be adding 20 dispatchers to their budget request this year, but they say that still will not be enough.
So Darcy, it's just heartbreaking. What do you do when you call 911 and you do get a recording on the phone?
Metro tells us that you've got to stay on the line. Don't hang up and call again. Don't get another phone and make another call. As excruciating as it may be, they say you just need to stay on hold and wait for that live operator because all those extra things can add to a backlog. Abandoned calls, sometimes if you hang up, they have to call you back as part of their policy. It could make other people wait longer for a live operator. So they say you do have to stay on hold. But that being said, local leaders are actually responding and saying there shouldn't be a wait time. You shouldn't have to hold. There's outrage. There are demands for an inquiry into exactly how this happened the night that Debbie lost her husband. And we are going to have more on that outrage and demand for more from local leaders tonight coming up at 11 p.m.
It's hard when you're in a situation like that to wait and wait and wait. I mean, it's heart-wrenching for her, and that's an awful story. So I know you're going to stay on top of it.
Of course.